letters and loving. Letters and loving. Oh my god, that's so cute. Hi, I'm Tina with Overall Adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. And today we're going to talk about how to write a self-love letter. I have written 50,000 words of love letters to myself, and it was an interesting journey. For the record, 50,000 words is about the size of The Great Gatsby, so I wrote that length of letters to me. And I also have a big announcement that I will share at the end of the video, so pretty excited about that. So first things first, I think it is important to set up some guidelines for yourself in terms of like how to go into mentally into writing a bunch of letters, because it's hard, my friends. I'm not going to lie and be like, I loved writing letters to myself. I knew exactly what to say every day. It was easy to just shower myself in kindness. That's not true. So I made 10 rules for myself that I think would actually be pretty applicable to you as well. So the first is to take it seriously. Approach the letters as if they're sacred. 2, be authentic. Promise to share your whole truth with yourself. And even in that mundaneness, even in the don't have much going on, can't think of anything epic to write to myself, expose all of that in authenticity, because you deserve that honesty, and that is how you'll break through to new levels within yourself, even if it doesn't feel like it. 3, I don't know how you want to word this, but I wrote, I will not fake self-love. So this is similar to authenticity. However, it's promising yourself that you will not fake that rainbows and unicorn self-love. 4, I will try to define self-love and how to get there and how to kind of make a process out of it. 5, this was key for me in particular because I've spent so much of my life writing love letters to boys and men that I did not know how to write any letters to myself. So for me personally, I made the rule that men are welcome in these pages, however, in limited amounts. So 6, so you are allowed to be mean to yourself. So these are things that I made for myself, okay? So, I'm explaining the rules here, So for me, I allowed myself to be mean to myself. However, I wanted to have conscious awareness of it. So every time I was had a mean or nasty thought, I wanted to say, oh, I see you, and now I'm going to examine why that you are here. So 7, you need to actually take care of yourself when writing self-love letters. Are you hungry? Are you, have you slept enough? Have you showered? Basics. Make sure the basics are in touch. 8, you are never alone in this writing. You're never alone in your journey to self-love, and it's really important to kind of acknowledge that and reach out when you need help. 9, my rule number 9 was probably one of my most tricky ones for me, and that is to be gentle with myself. And that is gentle is one easy word that rolls off the tongue, but really hard to implement. To be gentle with yourself, to allow yourself a process, to allow yourself a journey, to allow yourself to go from point A to point B, right? And not to criticize and not to slam down on yourself. And 10 is probably my favorite one. And another hard one though is to show up. Show up and go for it. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna write about, and you know what? That is totally okay. It's totally okay. It's just the fact that I showed up to the page, that I showed up for myself, that I showed up and said, hey, I'm worth it today. So what you could do is kind of write on a separate piece of paper your letters to yourself, and either have them in their own little folder, or actually what could be cool, I was thinking about this today, is buying some greeting cards that you really love that you would normally send to other people, but instead taking those nice, cute greeting cards and writing them to yourself, and either putting them in a little box, a little self-love, I like self-love arsenal, and kind of putting them under your bed, or kind of gathering those tools that you create for yourself for times of doubt and times of pain and struggle. You could also just write them in a notebook, which is what I ended up doing. Just took a Electrum notebook and wrote all my letters in here. But I think a separate hard copy on just separate sheets of paper might be really nice as well. Lastly, I just wanted to share an example so you can see from me what a self-love letter might look like or sound like. I need to feel right now that I'm not on a stage or high horse. I promised authenticity, gentleness, journey. This book is not about him. Go, Tina, just go. Dear Tina, I forgive you. I forgive you for loving such a scumbag. I forgive you for not being over him. I forgive you for feeling eternally lonely. I forgive you for wet pillowcases, old pajamas, torn journals. I forgive you for writing love letters to everyone else except for me. I forgive you for taking care of everyone else except for me. I forgive it all. There is a piece of divine in me. That piece, that shard of the universe, God, goddess, whatever you want to call her, is always able to forgive. I forgive you for searching the entire house for his phone number at 1 a.m., even though you knew no one had it. I forgive you for texting his sister. I forgive you for trying to call. I forgive you for sabotaging me, exhausting me, sickening me. I'm still here. If you could write this book and not worry about a single soul reading it, what would you write? I hold my own hand every night to fall asleep because I cannot bear the loneliness. That is my biggest, most darkest secret to date. In bed, I bring everything near me, my childhood stuffed animal, my blanket of whales. I feel like a giant magnet, calling out to the open bed. Stick to me so I will not be alone. Pillows around my whole body, notebooks, this book, I sleep with it all. Even if I wake up in the middle of the night with a corner poking my spine, I move the journal under my arm and fall back to sleep. The key, the cherry on top, the final slice of lonely pie, the final ingredient to a good night's sleep is my hands. I interlock them the serious way, as my high school health teacher would say, and I feel the warmth of myself, and that is how I fall asleep. Finally. So that's just an example of what a self-love letter could look like. Of course, there's so many different forms of self-love letters, but that's what I needed to hear from myself at that time. So, woo, that was exposing. But that's what it is. It's about getting raw. It's about getting real. It's about getting vulnerable and sharing yourself. Not to say that you have to share yourself with the internet. However, sharing yourself with yourself is a really important exercise. And lastly, this announcement that I've been so excited to share with you guys is that I found out that I got accepted to do a TEDx talk. So, I'm so excited. It will be March 31st. I will be giving a TED talk on self-love letters and this experience of writing this book. I will obviously post the video online and be able to connect you guys to it. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's some exciting news, and yeah, and so the talk itself will be a little bit more about like what I learned about self-love. So you'll get a little bit more insight as to like my own journey with this specific process. That is my news, and I thank you so much for your support. And if you have any questions or comments or things you wanted to talk to me about, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Peace.